I'm 68, and I want to talk about something that affected my hormones for years without me knowing it was happening. There are foods and products most of us consume every day that act like estrogen in the body. For men our age, that matters enormously, because elevated estrogen and suppressed testosterone are two sides of the same problem. Understanding what was driving that imbalance was the first step to reversing it. I'm William Harrison. I'm 68 years old, and I want to be honest about how long I went without connecting these dots. I knew my testosterone had been declining. I had been working on supporting it through various means. But there was a piece I was missing. Not what I needed to add, but what I needed to remove. The body maintains a careful balance between estrogen and testosterone. When estrogen is too high, testosterone is suppressed in direct proportion. And what I eventually discovered is that the modern environment, the food supply, the packaging, the products we use daily, is saturated with compounds that the body cannot distinguish from its own estrogen. These compounds accumulate, they tip the balance, and the effects are systemic and slow enough that most men never connect them to anything they're doing or consuming. Before I get into what I found, I want to ask you something. Have you been working on your testosterone while never considering what might be actively raising your estrogen at the same time? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one this week. And if this is already opening something up for you, please like this video and subscribe. I make these specifically for men our age, and I don't want you to miss what's coming. The first thing I had to confront was soy. Not occasionally eating edamame at a restaurant, the pervasive presence of soy derivatives in processed food. Soy protein, soy lecithin, soy oil. These appear in an extraordinary range of packaged products. And processed soy, particularly the genetically modified varieties that dominate the Western food supply, contains what are called phytoestrogens, compounds that bind to estrogen receptors in the body and produce estrogenic effects. The traditional fermented soy consumed in parts of Asia, miso, natto, tempeh, has a very different profile and does not carry the same concerns. It is the industrially processed, non-fermented soy that accumulates in problematic quantities. Reading labels and understanding where soy derivatives appear was one of the most eye-opening dietary investigations I undertook. The second thing I had to reckon with was sugar, not just because of its metabolic effects, but because of its specific hormonal consequences. Excess sugar and refined carbohydrates elevate insulin chronically, and chronically elevated insulin disrupts the hormonal environment in ways that include raising estrogen and lowering testosterone simultaneously. This connection between the standard modern diet high in processed carbohydrates and the hormonal imbalances so common in men our age is one of the most important and least discussed relationships in men's health. Removing processed sugar and significantly reducing refined carbohydrates was not just about weight or blood sugar. It was about restoring the hormonal conditions that the body needs to function correctly. The third and perhaps most significant source was conventional meat and dairy. This one required a real shift in how I approached grocery shopping. Conventionally raised animals are given growth hormones and other compounds that remain present in the meat and dairy products we consume. Conventional milk, in particular, has been shown to contain dozens of hormonal compounds, including synthetic estrogens. The practical solution was not to eliminate meat and dairy, it was to shift to grass-fed organic sources. The difference in hormonal content between conventional and grass-fed organic products is substantial. I treated this as a non-negotiable investment in my hormonal health, rather than an optional upgrade. The fourth source surprised me most: plastics and non-stick cookware. BPA, or bisphenol A, is a compound found in many plastics that acts as a xenoestrogen, a foreign estrogen that the body treats as its own. When plastic bottles are heated, left in a hot car, used in a microwave, exposed to sunlight, the BPA leaches into the contents at dramatically higher rates. The same applies to older non-stick cookware containing PFAS compounds, which have similarly estrogenic effects and are released when the pans are heated. Switching to glass or stainless steel for food and beverage storage and moving to cast iron or ceramic cookware were changes I made that removed a significant ongoing source of estrogenic exposure I had never previously considered. The other side of this equation, not just removing estrogenic sources, but actively supporting the body's ability to process and eliminate excess estrogen, pointed me toward cruciferous vegetables. Broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale, cabbage. These vegetables contain a compound called indole-3-carbinol, which the body uses to metabolize and clear excess estrogen through the liver. Eating cruciferous vegetables regularly is not just a general health practice. For men dealing with estrogen imbalance, it is a targeted intervention. Milk thistle, which I also began using, similarly supports the liver's hormone-clearing function. What I want you to understand is that testosterone is not just something to build up, it is something to protect. And the modern environment presents a set of ongoing challenges to that protection that most men have never been told about. In their food, in their packaging, in their cookware, in the hormones present in their conventional meat and dairy. When I stopped thinking only about what to take and started thinking about what to remove, the hormonal picture changed more completely than any single supplement had ever managed. The balance that the body is capable of maintaining when the estrogenic load is reduced and the liver has the support it needs is something I had not felt in years. That is what I want for you. If this video helped you see a part of the picture you had been missing, please subscribe for more strategies that actually work for men our age. I'm William Harrison. Thanks for watching.